Welcome back to Carnage Unleashed. Another beautiful Wednesday. As always, you got Kev, Zach, and special guest Connor Showtime Smith. How you fellas doing today? Start with you, Connor.
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. I haven't got to be on the show in a while, so just been watching it and commenting in the comment section. So,
which is much appreciated.
Yes.
I'm enjoying the nice weather we've been having. My allergies haven't been killing me this week, so I have been just ecstatic because I haven't had just a leaky nose all week. So, I'm having a great day. Kevin, how about you, buddy?
I'm living the dream. It has been something like 24 years since the Indiana Pacers have hosted an NBA Finals game. So
of course.
I got some real big, happy to be here energy today, fellas.
You gotta check out the hat.
Woo! This hat is from the last time they had a team finals up worthy. Honestly,
What was that 20 years ago?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This thing's got mothballs in it.
Wait, buddy.
Yeah, it's been good. Really well now because I'm finally done with the torture of redoing my cabinets. Ooh. Only to find out that my wife has another project lined up.
Lucky you.
So, but the weather's been nice. Got to ride my new bike, so I am a happy guy.
That's good. That's good. But hey, so Connor, you are supposed to be on this show that we're going to be talking about, Ego Fight Series 4. You're supposed to be on this, supposed to be fighting for a belt, but unfortunately it didn't pull through, which happens in the amateurs a little bit too often that I like to admit. So tell me, what's your thoughts on all of that, buddy, before we even dive into the rest of the card?
well, I mean, it was out of my control. Obviously, I'm healthy, I'm not sick, I'm not injured. I was coming down, I was making weight. I mean, it's a bummer. I mean, I was supposed to be main event against one of the top, if not the best, amateur flyweight in the state of Ohio. So I was really excited to prove myself that I was one of the best in the state and go out there and get a win in the main event at a sweet arena like Hobart and win a title. But it didn't come through, but I'm staying patient. I know my opportunity will be coming, and that opportunity will be a 125-pound title somewhere. So when that opportunity comes, I'll take it.
Yes. I mean, because you fight 125 and 135, don't you? But you want your title at 125?
I'm trying to stay down at 125 from now on.
We're not going back to those old ways, Zach. Right? It's a joke. Let's just put a couple of weights in Connor's pocket. He'll fight. He'll jump up 20 pounds.
Hey,
right?
you say that, but when we were doing kickboxing, we were like, it's like a heavyweight tournament. He's like, I'll jump in there. Just let me do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm a little too good for that now. I think I got to stay down at 120.
Well, so then, okay. So do you not have anything booked? Do you have anything planned now? Or are you just kind of in a steady, let's just train every day, keep myself ready for any opportunity that pops up kind of?
I'm always staying ready, training all the time. I've had a bunch of people reach out about fights. There's one that I've been in deep talks with that I'm waiting on. We just got to find someone to be on the other side of the matchup. But if we can get that set up, it'll be pretty big. It'll be my title that I want, and it'll be perfect for what I need right now. So until then, stay patient, keep training, keep working, and then when that time comes, get the weight off and go get a title.
There you go. Do you have a time frame for that one? Is that one going to be by the end of the summer?
Yeah, well, it's looking at August, hopefully. If I get about, it'll probably be August.
Awesome. All right, perfect. Good. So how's everything going there at Smile Back Training? Since that's where you're training at.
Yeah, everything's going good. A lot of guys at the very end of their camp now, getting the last little bit of weight off, getting ready for the show. Our gym, we have 5 guys I believe fighting this Saturday. We got Kyle in the main event, 5-0 versus Mylan Parabek, 5-0. 2 of the top bantamweight prospects in Ohio fighting for a title. That's going to be a huge fight. Jack's back. Everybody loves watching Jack Jack. He's fighting at 135 this time. Talk about somebody that moves up all these weight classes. But he'll be fighting in the co-main event. We got Alex Ryle back, 170 pounds this time, like he's supposed to be, looking to get another knockout and crazy slams like he always does. And then we got Jarrell coming back. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years now, 1-0 heavyweight. So he's coming back to shake up the heavyweight division a little bit. Seth Peoples from the last Carnage show with his crazy 27-second. He's coming back, so that'll be a fun one to watch. And then we got Santi making his debut, young kid. He was a football player at the University of Dayton. Now he's with us, looking to make his debut at 170 pounds, and he's coming along really well. So I'm really excited to watch his fight as well and see how that goes. So a lot of big fights coming up.
Now, did he play with Lewis then?
Yes, they played together at Dayton. Yep.
So you've got your football guys recruiting other football guys now to come over, huh?
Dayton players come through the training.
Pipeline unlocked, right? Gotta love that. Hey, Connor, I think I saw a post you mentioned. Are you going to be cornering for some of these fights too? And do you get anything out of that personally? Obviously, I know it's a team sport in that regard. I see folks all the time cornering their teammates and stuff. So obviously I know there's that aspect of it, but is there anything that you get to take away when you have that different lens? I guess you're looking at it from a different perspective where you're trying to provide aid and some coaching throughout a fight as opposed to being in it.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these guys, they look up to me. As it's funny that I'm a veteran of the gym and I'm only 20, but if they got questions, they ask me all the time, whether it comes to cutting weight or any aspect of fighting, they always come and ask me. And I coach a lot of these guys. That's what I've been, since my fight's been off with Roman, a lot of what I've been doing is training and coaching these guys for these last couple of weeks, helping getting them ready. So it feels like a big project of my own, and I'd love to see them succeed and flourish with what I've been able to help them and teach them with. And I'm a big team guy. I mean, I'm the biggest fan of all my teammates. So to go out there and see them win and being in their corner to help them through it every step of the way is really cool for me. And something. So.
That's awesome. Just switching back, I was just looking through your past years. You've been pretty active. Had 3 fights in 23, 4 in 24, and you have yet to have one in 25. Is that just because you've been sticking to your guns at 125 and it's hard to find opponents that want to face you?
Yeah, and this whole fight with Roman, there was so much that went into it. I've been talking about fighting Roman for so long. My last fight in December when I fought for Cage Thunder, in my post-fight interview, I called out Roman to fight me. And then he fights down in BCM in February. He wins. He calls me out. So we were slowly building it up. Finally got a date set for June. And then obviously everything falls through. So I was kind of on hold making the Roman fight work. And now all of a sudden we're halfway through the year and I ain't fought nobody. So
is that a little frustrating?
Very frustrating, actually.
Yeah. So you're saying August. Are you one that just gonna be patient about it, or you get this fight in August? Are you trying to turn around with another quick fight before the end of the year? Sorry.
I would like to. Yeah, I definitely want to fight. I would say minimum of 2 times this year since it's already June. But it's hard to fight if they're all at 25. I don't cut 10 pounds. I cut a lot of weight. I walk around at 150 pounds. Legit. So it's not like I can just go right into it again, but I would like to get this one in August. And then I don't know, I do not want to fight in December. I fought in December every year the past 3 years, and I haven't had Thanksgiving in 3 years, and I don't want to fight. So I'm cool with November. I'm cool with an October. That would be cool. And August for sure, but no December. Hopefully 2 times this year maybe would be pretty cool. 2 fights, 2 titles would be sweet.
Yeah, I know the struggle because I did wrestling growing up, so I could never enjoy the holidays. But you said you cut a lot of weight. So what's that process like for you? Do you got dialed in now where that happens?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've had a couple cuts to 25. My debut was at 125. I didn't walk around very big at the time. I walked around at like 135. So like I barely cut any weight for that. And then my next fight that I had at 125, I had a horrible cut. Like I was cutting the morning of still, and it was a horrible cut. Still able to win the fight. And then I didn't fight again in 25 until last December when I fought Nick Luke in Cage Thunder. And that was the best cut I've ever had to 125. It felt great. The weight came off well. That being said, I've also never been 150 pounds to cut to 125. Big. So I'm still working that out. I was well on my way for this Roman fight. I was down to about 136, 137 when I got the call that the fight was off. So I was well on my way. I think I got it figured out pretty well, and I'll definitely make weight. I've never missed weight, always made it. So
Yeah.
I will definitely be 125 on weight like a professional.
Yes. You've always made weight. You've always been professional. You've always been outspoken and building your brand. So I enjoy watching that.
Now, with you being 5-3, you still want to get 2 more fights in. Are you looking to go pro next year then in, early next year, late next year, anytime next year?
The original plan was yes to go pro next year, but then again, it's June and I haven't fought anybody yet. So I was kind of expecting to fight a little more this year before I went pro. So I would say 2027 for sure I'll be pro at some point. I don't know about next year. It kind of depends how this year goes. Hopefully I can fight somebody this year. That's kind of, I need to get that done first, but I would like to go pro eventually. I mean, I'm getting to where I want to be. Still some things I want to clean up before I go pro. I just see a lot of guys go pro too quick and they rush it and it doesn't end well. I'm not trying to have that same outcome for my career. So, but it'll come eventually. I'll be pro. If next year would be cool, but like I said, it all depends on if I get to fight this year or not. So,
well, like you said, you're only 20 years old, so you've got plenty of time to build all of that up. So no rush there.
not at all.
I love to hear that because 20 years old, you got 8 fights in, you got a lot of experience already at 20, and you're still looking to get some more experience for going pro. I think that's
Absolutely
beautiful. Such a smart move for your career.
Yes.
I got to ask a bit of a side question here, Connor. This one is admittedly a little more selfish because I know that I've had a great time with you at the commentary desk, but I also know that I'm not the only one that has been blessed to share that booth with you. You've been doing some more commentary on a couple of different promotions. How are you taking to it? Do you like that? Is that something that you'll continue to do throughout your career?
Oh, 100%. I love doing commentary. That is so much fun. The first time I ever got to do it was at Hobart last year, and I figured out I was doing it like the day before. So that night I'm like looking up on Tapology, getting all this information on all these guys, so I sounded professional. But I don't know, I just let it go. Like I didn't want to hold in who I was in commentary and make it kind of bland, so I just let all my emotion out. Like the last time I did it with you guys, I was screaming so loud the microphones were cutting out.
It brought the energy and a ton of knowledge. Like that's why, at least on our end, that we love to have guys like you in that position, where it's because I can only describe what's happening, whereas you can say, okay, well, this guy in this position right now would be looking to do this. So it's a lot of fun having you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'm glad you're working with folks that let you bring that personality, because that's so much of it too. It's a little bit of, you're basically just sitting there telling the story of the fight. But when you get to let your personality shine, really brings a lot of energy. So I know I had a blast. I look forward to calling more fights with you again in the future. So I'm selfishly glad to hear that you're taking to it.
Absolutely. I mean, every time I get an opportunity to do it, I'm on it. Whether, like I said, it's doing MMA fights or I've been doing pro wrestling shows as well, which is so.
We're gonna have to talk after the show sometime, Connor.
So with that being said, we should probably jump in a little bit with the Ego Fight Series 4. So what fight, since now that you're not fighting on the card, you've kind of had some time to sit back, look at who's there. What fight are you looking forward to the most on this card? And if you do say someone that is from your gym, then let's also put one out there that's not including someone from your gym, so we can give some other people some love out there too, because I know you love your teammates and you want to see them do well.
Well, the first two that come to my mind are both from my gym, so I'll say the main event. I don't know how you couldn't be 5-0 Kyle versus 5-0 Mylan, two of the top bantamweights in Ohio fighting for a title. I mean, Mylan's never had a fight go out of the first round, all finishes in all of his fights. Kyle is crazy good on the ground, just beat the #1 bantamweight to win the BCM title back in February. So he's at the top of his game right now. Mylan's at the top of his game, both undefeated. Somebody's got to lose. So I'm really excited for that. That's a very good rightful main event. I'm very excited for that. And then in the co-main event, Jack Chappie versus Chase Edmonds. I think that's going to be so much fun. Both those guys are just so explosive in the way they fight. They're 100 miles an hour from the beginning of the first round to the end of the third round. Both those guys are giving it all they got and emptying their gas tank. So I feel like just those two meshing together is just going to be insane. I cannot wait for that fight as well. I think that's going to be really good. And then guys not from our gym, I've been keeping up a lot with Chip Parker and his stuff on social media and the fights that he's had. He's got himself, I think he's 2-1, got a good little record going. I'm really curious to watch him fight and get more familiar with his game. Like I said, I've been following him on social media with his stuff, and I'm excited to get to actually see him do his thing, go out there and work on a big stage that he deserves to fight on, like Hobart Arena. So I'm excited to see that for him, and I hope he can get it done.
Okay. Yeah, because looking at the rankings here, Kyle's ranked number 10 in the U.S. Midwest, and Milian is 11th. So they're neck and neck right now, getting ready. I feel like whoever wins this is going to easily break into the single-digit rankings in the U.S. Midwest. So that is going to be one heck of a fight to watch there. I got to ask though, who do you have? Who do you have that's going to win that, and how are they going to win that fight?
Ooh, I can get real deep with this one. I mean, I'm going with Kyle, and I'll give you a reason why. Yes, he's my teammate, but Kyle, he's known for his jiu-jitsu. He's a purple belt, really good at jiu-jitsu. He also has a wrestling background, and his striking is elite. He doesn't get to show his striking as much because all of his fights end up on the ground, but his striking is elite. He hits hard. His combos are clean. He's really fast. His last fight with Kobe Carr-Pierce, everyone wanted to know whose grappling was better, Kyle or Kobe. It was two purple belts going at it, but when it was on the feet, Kyle was putting it on Kobe, forcing him to shoot. Kobe did not want to stand with Kyle at all. So I believe with Mylan has a good wrestling background. Him and Roman are very similar in the way they fight. They're both good wrestlers. They like to get ground and pound and go for finishes early, and I don't know if that's a smart idea to try to take Kyle to the ground. That's where he makes his money. That's where it's at for him, is on the ground. So if he doesn't take Kyle down, then he's got to stand with him. And I just talked about how good Kyle's striking is. I just don't see a spot where you'd want to fight Kyle where you feel like you're going to have the advantage. I don't think you ever have an advantage when you're fighting Kyle.
Yeah, because looking at Mylan's record here, he's all his fights have ended in the first round with submissions.
Yes.
Rear naked choke, rear naked choke, rear naked choke, arm bar, arm triangle. So, he likes his rear naked chokes, that's for sure.
I'll say Mylan can submit Kyle. I would personally apologize to Mylan because there is not a chance he gets submitted.
So, yeah, because, I mean, you've got Kyle. I mean, looking at his win sheet here, punches for mount first round. I mean, that was in 32 seconds too. He's got one unanimous decision, an arm bar, both of them first rounds. And then his last fight was a split decision. So that was a tough fought win against someone who is undefeated as well at who's 6-1 now. So that, because he was undefeated at the time, he was 4-1. He is 6-1 now. So his only loss is to to Kyle. So that should go to how big of a war that probably was, because I didn't get a chance to actually see that. But I am excited to see this fight. Because you gotta love it when you've got 2 5-0s going against each other, battling it out, fighting on who is the best. Now, what I did see is, do you know what their rankings are in the state of Ohio at all?
I think they're right by each other. I think Milan's 1 spot behind Kyle, and Kyle's 3.
Kyle is ranked 4th. So Kyle is ranked 4th in Ohio right now.
Way higher than 4.
and
then he's 5th.
And then he's 5th. So when you've got this, I can see them jumping up to possibly the number 1 spot in the state of Ohio. Whoever wins this fight.
Who's won?
Let's find out here.
Untamed Kobe Carr Pierce,
Who Kyle just beat for the BCM title. Okay, I just want to make.
So what you're telling me, they haven't updated the rankings yet. That's what I'm hearing here. Okay,
it would appear so. Yeah.
That's why he was getting a little hostile there with us. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's throwing out facts,
Undefeated number 1 should be number 1. I don't know.
Oh, well, let's see here. Okay. Now, what I want to know, because I remember trying to get back to this. So Lewis, I remember I'm trying to remember, did he have a knockout? Because I remember filming that card.
He had a submission.
No, it was a guillotine choke in 58 in round 2. Okay. Because I remember him dominating that fight, if I'm not mistaken, just basically from start to finish. That's why I thought it was a knockout, because it was just basically controlled it from start to finish. How has his training been coming back from football? Because I know he's probably going back and did football there for a long time, because it's been since 2023 since he fought last.
I think he's coming along really well. Back then when he fought, he kind of just won off of being a pure athlete. Wasn't really much skill behind what he's doing. Now he's actually learning the fundamentals. His striking is getting clean. He knows what he's doing on the ground. He can stop a shot now. His cage work's getting really good. I think if Jarrell can stick with it, he'll be very dangerous. And I think he's got himself a good fight and good opportunity this Saturday to remind the world of who he is. I think he's going to go out there and make it look even easier than he did last time. I really do.
Okay. So has he been, so when he wasn't there and at practice for football, was he coming into the gym, and has he been training these last few years then in and out, or has he been constantly in? How's that been looking for him?
He was gone for a while in school and with football and everything. I was there for a while, and then he came back like, I want to fight again. He was talking about Hobart, wanting to fight at Hobart, and made it happen. Since then, he's been in here working and getting better, ready for the opportunity. He called for it. He's working for it, and now he gets to get it on Saturday. So I'm excited for it.
Okay. And then Seth Peoples. So can we expect another knockout in the first round from him on this card too? Because that was a brutal knockout in 27 seconds.
1,000% Seth is going to knock this dude out. For the punchers I've ever worked with ever. Even when he's going light, he doesn't know how to go light. He thinks he's going light, and it still hurts so bad when he hits you. Like, I don't see any chance this dude has of avoiding that right hand for a whole 3 minutes of the first round. Definitely not a whole 9 minutes of the full fight. That right hand's going to land, and his lights are going out, and Seth's going to have another knockout of the year candidate. The Vanilla Gorilla is going to have a
And shameless plug, if you want to see that knockout that he had last time, just check on our YouTube channel and you will be able to see that fine knockout.
I love that they don't even have knockout on Tapology. They literally have straight right. That is what they said that he knocked him out with. Just straight right. No, not knockout, straight right. I love it. It's yes.
That happened.
Straight right to lights out. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Now, do you have any other fights that you would like to highlight from this there Hobart Arena?
Like I said, I really want to shout out all my teammates fighting there and all them fights that I mentioned. And obviously, got to talk about Alex Ryle fighting again. I mean, 2-0 with 2 TKOs, 2 knockouts. One of them being on like 2 days' notice when he fought for you guys in Carnage, and that was up at a weight. He was up heavy, coming in fat. So now he's it's the weight he's supposed to be, and I feel like he's going to make a statement just like he did the past 2 times he's fought. He made his debut last year at Hobart, picked the dude up, slammed him on top of his head, and just took this dude's back and took everything from him. So I feel like he's going to go out there and do the same thing again, and I'm really excited to watch that. And that dude brings a crowd when he fights. That place gets riled up for Alex Ryle. I'll tell you that.
Hey, didn't he get a drink named after him too? I think I saw something online about that, man. He's got the people riled up. Yeah, that's a great nickname. Couldn't have gotten a better one.
I'll tell you that.
So make sure you guys go and check out that Ego Fight Series 4 at Hobart Arena in Troy, Ohio. That is June 14th. The doors open at 5, so get there and go and enjoy some fantastic fights there at Ego Fight Series. And then moving on, because I know Wade is eager to talk about the old UFC 316.
Marab, don't even try to pronounce his last name.
Marab
O'Malley.
O'Malley.
Oh, I love it. That's why I said UFC 316. Wade, take it away, baby.
Oh, yeah. So if you didn't watch it, you missed out on some great fights this weekend. Opened up an early prelims with Markel. I don't know, Markel. Mark, I'm not even pronouncing his last name. I don't even know how to do it. Markel, he was on the Contender Series. I believe it was season 7. Yeah, I think it was season 7. Coming in, and he's had I think 2 fights in the UFC against a debut guy, and got the decision win. And then went on to Sulklid versus Ashmos.
You're about as bad as me when it comes to pronouncing these.
Read
names.
These names. It's crazy.
I'm good.
Anyway, Salkeed, he's from Australia. He was on the Contender Series as well. I think that was season 8, and he came off with a decision win. And then this next fight was nice. So featherweight bout, Jeka from Indonesia versus Yu from South Korea. They call him Korean Zombie Jr. And he showed us why. Because in the first round, 28 seconds in, nice little hook, flattens him out, KO.
I love that.
KO. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch. That was a beautiful, beautiful play shot. Then to wrap up the early prelims, you had De Silva versus Kong. De Silva, I don't know what she's doing. Not professional. We're talking about like Connor always making weight. She weighed in 6 pounds overweight. How do you do that? Like, what do you even try?
Connor, what are you going to do if someone weighs in 6 pounds more than you?
If it's for a belt, then they ain't getting their title fight.
Man, it was ridiculous. So this Kong wasn't even supposed to fight her. I think she stepped in, I believe, and accepted the fight, and then she got I think it was 25% of her earnings, and then if De Silva would have won, she would have got 25% of that winnings too. But that didn't need to happen because Kong came out there and demolished her. It was a decision win, but she came out here just working her and owned every part of the aspect of the fight. She's a good prospect coming out of China. And then we move into the prelims. Chaos Williams versus Gustafsson. Gustafsson, that was his debut in the UFC. Chaos Williams, everybody knows he comes in throwing some heat. But Gustafsson, he's from Sweden. He self-proclaimed the worst technique in UFC.
Something to hang your hat on, I guess. Something to hang your hat on.
He's like, I have the worst technique in the UFC. But he just goes out there just swinging. So he, right off the bell, ran at him. Obviously, you saw a bad technique. This is what he's out here doing all that. What are you doing with some bums rushes like that, Zach?
Sticking with the jab. But I'm also normally longer than all my other opponents. So, I'm going to stick with the jab. Stick and run.
I'm level 2. Dumping them on their head. That's what I'm doing.
I don't do ground stuff. You should know this, Connor. I don't do ground stuff.
Yeah, he has a 73.5-inch reach. So he's actually a pretty long dude for a welterweight. Yeah, but I thought it was hilarious because that's what he said. I got the worst technique in UFC, but he came out there and showed what he does have the worst technique in UFC and got the decision win. He just overwhelmed it. This is bum rush, cage clinching, and just wild swings.
A win is a win.
Which is kind of crazy. I think that neutralized Chaos Williams, which he's normally good standing up. He throws crazy bombs. But I just didn't think he knew what to do. Like you said, you should. When someone's bum rushing, you need a circle and jab, or in Connor, duck under, take down, and neutralize that, and just kind of get them to settle down a little bit.
Is that what you would have done, Wade? Would you go for the takedown, or you just ran because you don't know how to stand and bang?
I know how to stand and bang. I have sparred Ferreras.
That just means you know how to take a punch, because that boy doesn't know how to hold back.
Yeah,
kind of like Peoples over there. He thinks he's going at 50%, but he's really going at 110.
And then we moved on into the heavyweight division. Got a fight in the heavyweight division. It was Spivak versus Acosta. This kind of just made me sad, honestly. I didn't think it was a great fight. Connor, did you have any thoughts on this fight at all?
About to say, did you think they got that decision right?
I did not.
I think Spivak won that fight. I think they got that really wrong. And I thought it was obvious that he won, and then Acosta's hand raised, and I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. I thought it was obvious that I think Spivak may have lost round 2 maybe, but he easily won rounds 1 and 3. I thought he won 29-28 easy, but
yeah, that's how I had it too. I said the iffy round was 2, and yeah, I just don't. These judges sometimes just baffle me and like what they see.
Boy, don't let it go to the judges.
But I mean, I feel like this was a little bit lackluster for the heavyweight, and I think it's all stemming down because John Jones needs to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, gee, Wade, why would we have such a watered down heavyweight division right now? Like only.
Hey, coming from Dana White's mouth, Jones has agreed. That's coming from Dana White's mouth.
I did see that.
Dana also hadn't seen the tweets where John Jones himself said, "I am retired." So I don't know between Slap Fight and TKO Boxing and the other 87 responsibilities that he has. I don't know if he knows everything that's going on with John right now. So I'm just saying, thank you, John Jones. Your legacy is intact, man. This is what we get. Like, can you blame anybody for not wanting to take a heavyweight fight right now? Like, they all know they're just one announcement away from Tom as the champ, and anybody on that bubble probably doesn't want to necessarily take a chance right now when their next fight could be a title fight. So until we know anything else, I feel like this is kind of what we're going to get from the heavyweights in the near future.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I think. And it's sad because I want to. Well, also, I will say heavyweight is not that deep right now, aside from Jones and Tom. They really need to start busting out some more prospects in that heavyweight division.
Well, I know someone who will fight heavyweight. His name is Connor Showtime. He'll fight in any weight class you throw at him. So like, let's go. Let's get it done.
I would have done better in that heavyweight fight than Acosta did to win that fight.
Yeah. It was abysmal.
It was.
Then moving on up to Azmat versus Brenson. Russia versus Brazil, light heavyweight bout, and then a nice KO by Brenson. Then the wrap-up prelims, it was Bruno Silva versus Joshua Vaughn, and that was a beautiful fight. What was your thoughts on this, Connor?
Joshua Van, he's one of my favorite fighters right now, especially at flyweight. I think flyweight doesn't get him as much as attention as it should, but like him, that's going to make people want to watch flyweight. And he just took a last-minute fight versus he's filling in for Manel Cap to fight Brandon Royval. So he's
I didn't see that.
Fighting the number one ranked flyweight now in like 2 weeks. I think 28th, I believe he's fighting him. So he's stepped.
Is that a pay-per-view or is that a fight night?
I believe it's the pay-per-view. That's not
the pay-per-view.
I want to say it's the Ilya card. Ilya and Charles.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're fighting on that. Somehow it's on the prelims and not the main card. They got Justin Taffa on the main card, but Joshua Van and Brandon. That's insane. But
how are you going to put the number one contender on the?
Yeah, Brandon Royval was talking about it. I saw him posting about it on social media. So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, Joshua Van, he looked crisp. He looked clean, and he keeps fighting like that. I can see him definitely going for that title and making some noise in the flyweight division.
They need it in flyweight.
They do. I love watching flyweight. People don't the pace that they set sometimes is just absolutely crazy.
So fast.
Zach, could you hold a pace like that?
Hell no. I'll be sticking my jab out there, but give me a break. Geez, stay away from me.
I forgot what fight it was, but there was a guy. He was like, "Time out." There, people are like, "What is that? What is he timing out?" There's no timeouts.
What a hard way to learn that rule, to have to learn it in like your first fight. Like, wait, I don't get the. Oh God. Oh no, that's gonna be a long 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. And then we breaking into the main event, which all good fights except for one, and we're gonna get to that here in a sec. It was Luque versus Holland, and
Holland with his third fight of the year. With his third fight of the year already.
Third fight of the year already.
Can't even get one.
Yep, he's dropped down to 170, I think, where he needs to be at if he wants to make some noise. Although I just watched this post-fight interview, and they're asking, like, would you want to fight, who was it? It was something crazy. One of the top 70-pounders, and he was like, hell no. Hell no. He's I'm just trying to fight as many people as possible, like, not in the top division, and make money. So I want to see his mindset switch to like actually shoot for that title, but he's just having fun going out there fighting and winning and making money.
Submitting Vicente Luque too. That's impressive.
Yeah. He did submit Luque too.
And to kind of choke at that too. So
yeah, it was since he's got long arms, which it showed. He just and locks it up.
That's why, Wade, you'll never be able to accomplish an anaconda choke, buddy. I'm sorry, Mr. T-Rex.
If I do, then someone's head might pop off. It's all right. It's a W. A W is a W, right?
A win is a win. A win is a win.
Then we moved on up to bantamweight. It was Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. Patchy, former Bellator champion, coming over for his UFC debut, fighting top-ranked opponent, and dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Israel versus Yoel Romero?
That's yeah.
Worse. Patchy Mix. I don't know what he did. He's a former Bellator champion. He comes over and he's a great submission artist, great grappler, and decent hands. But he literally no head movement, walk forward.
Nothing.
I'm like, what is going on? Did someone's controller disconnect? Like, I'm gonna say, I'll put right here, worst UFC debut in history, in my opinion.
Bad. With that much hype too, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, he just didn't. I was like, oh, maybe in the first like 2 rounds, like, okay, he's got maybe a little bit of nerves going on coming over to the UFC, but it just no. It just kept on going and how he fought. And like the last 30 seconds, you saw him like have some fight in him, but man, it was bad.
It shows the levels of UFC to Bellator. There's not really been anyone from Bellator to come over to the UFC and do nothing crazy that I can think of off the top of my head.
Nope. Chandler's the only one that can
I'm
perform, but he's just so stupid fight IQ wise. Like, if he was smarter with fight IQ, he would win.
Credit his wins. He beat Dan Hooker. I think Hooker would smoke him now if they fought, and then he beat a wash Tony. Other than that,
Yeah.
Body, I don't think should be ranked as high as he is. He shouldn't be getting these big fights at all. He should be
Not
fighting
right now. He shouldn't be ranked as high as he is now. No, not at all. But the thing is, he comes and entertains. He's pivoted and he's like, all right, basically not the gold anymore. Let me just go in and make this exciting. And that's why he gets all these fights.
Yeah.
Guess gotta sell tickets.
Yeah, it does. Does sell tickets. Moving on to Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Middleweight bout. Gastelum, veteran in the game. He's got a fight in the Hall of Fame versus Israel. That was one of my favorite fights to ever watch. Freaking brawl. And Joe Pyfer, he is up-and-coming prospect. I mean, people know about him. He is huge for the division. Like, looking size comparison, Joe versus Calvin, it was like freaking watching Alex Pereira in the middleweight division at the time. They're just big guys. Like, man, how do they even make this weight?
It looked like me in that featherweight tournament I did.
Yeah. Yep. And Piper came in and he got the unanimous decision. I thought he was going to stop him in the first, hurt him pretty bad, but he was just more – I think he had a little bit too much respect for Kelvin, and he kind of just was more reserved. He didn't end up finishing, but he dominated the whole fight all the way through. And, yeah, he's going to be a force to reckon with. Moving on into the co-main event, women's bantamweight title bout, Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison and new.
That one's for you, Clayton. All right?
Yep, that one's for Clayton. Juliana Pena, everybody is annoyed by her, and my mom is even a casual fan, and she's like, man, I'm so glad that Juliana Pena she just annoys me so much. Shoot. Kayla Harrison with the submission handled Juliana Pena with ease.
And
got 3 illegal up kicks on her too.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Yep. And then after she won, called out Amanda Amanda comes up into the ring. They're very respectful with each other, but that's a fight. Connor, how do you see that fight happening?
I was about to say, I think Kayla beats her. I really do.
Do you?
Okay.
Now, like, she's not in her prime anymore. She hasn't fought in forever, and Kayla's an animal. Like, she's gigantic. Like, that girl is terrifying. So I don't see Amanda being able to beat her. I don't see anyone beating Kayla Harrison at all. The women's bantamweight division is always on life support. I feel like Kayla has the belt. I think she'll just run through everybody at bantamweight, honestly. And there's nothing else. Featherweight, and she cannot get down to 25. So
yeah, no, she's too big.
bantamweight girls. I think she handles Amanda though pretty. I don't think it would be that tough for her. I think she'd beat Amanda pretty solid.
Oh damn, that's a hot take right there.
That is.
Zach, how do you feel?
I mean, you gotta go with the GOAT. I feel like you gotta go with the GOAT. Yeah, have you guys noticed? I go with the GOATs. John Jones. Amanda Nunes. I'm gonna go with Nunes just because she's had some time. Yeah, but I feel like this is what she's been waiting on. She retired because no one could challenge her. No one could step up and beat her in any of the divisions that she was had the belts in. So I think this is what she's been waiting for. You can't tell me a girl like that hasn't been training at least somewhat. I'm not gonna say she's been strict like every single day, but you can't tell me she's not been in the gym multiple times a week. Getting in the mitt work, probably rolling around, doing something. So I don't feel like she's been completely out of the game. So I feel like I said, I just feel like this is what she was waiting for. Like she left so someone could come up and rise to this position. So she could come back and make a little bit of a money fight herself.
I will ask that do you think she's the GOAT of all women's MMA? Is Amanda Nunes?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
I do.
Who do you have then as the GOAT?
I like Chris Cyborg as the female GOAT of MMA.
Did Chris Cyborg lose?
Got knocked out by Amanda Nunes.
But look, Amanda also lost to Juliana Pena, and we all agree that Juliana Pena is not good.
Yeah, I can see that. But what I see though is she was just dominating so much. Amanda just got bored with it and underlooked Juliana Pena.
Yeah, I'd say Amanda on her prime, and her run. Yeah, there's no touching Amanda Nunes in her prime. But I don't think she's in her prime anymore. Kayla Harrison would win that fight.
Yeah, how long has the break been?
A couple years now.
I was gonna say, hasn't it been a couple years? Like no disrespect to the legend, but time is not your friend in any sport. And I think despite, what level of training, as Zach mentioned, I also believe she probably been in the gym pretty frequently, but that doesn't compare to what, the top ranked current UFC athletes are doing. And I don't know, it's just one of those things. Maybe she might be the only person that has a chance right now to get the win, but I just couldn't see it. I would be very shocked if somebody at her stage of her career, after being out for so long, comes in and wins that fight. I think it could be close, but I'm kind of leaning towards it's like she just wants a warrior's death, one last big money fight. Let me go down to a worthy opponent, and I feel like that she's probably gonna be given that.
Ooh, two hot takes here.
I'm just glad.
I am on your side, Zach. I will say this. I don't think that will be as unbeatable as like in her prime or anything like that. I think she handles Kayla standing. I think her striking is bar none one of the best in female sports. I think where her hole is going to be when Kayla gets a hold of her. How does she do? Amanda Nunes is great all the way around. She's black belt in jiu-jitsu, crazy striking ability, but that time off, does the grappling go away a little bit? I think so. I think her hand's still going to be crisp. I think the grappling's going to be a little bit lower, but a full fight camp training for Kayla Harrison, who is going to be utilizing her judo. I have Amanda Nunes edging it out if she could stay on her feet.
If
because I don't think she's been grabbed by someone as strong as Kayla. So that's why I think the Kayla's can utilize her abilities there.
well, I'm just glad none of you guys said that Ronda Rousey was the GOAT. Okay, I'm just proud of everybody.
I almost did it as a joke, but I didn't know if we had the time to fit it in the
She is.
No. Did you ever?
She did wonders for the sport for the women, but
yes,
not the GOAT.
That's like saying Conor McGregor's the GOAT. He's obviously not, but he did.
He's the GOAT. Yeah. He's the GOAT of talking shit, though. That's for sure. Absolutely. I know Shale probably want to butt in on that one. Okay, right. Thinks he is.
Shit talkers would be Chelsea.
Yeah, if you go with longevity, because once we got to Connor, I felt like you could no longer say he was the best shit talker. He was literally pulling an Ace Ventura. It's like, I don't know, he's kind of lost it a little bit in the trash talk department too. I feel like if you look at the long run, like Chael's got that LeBron run where he's been an all-star shit talker for 20 years.
Yep,
that's true. That's true.
That's promos like it's wrestling. That's the difference.
He does. All right, the main event: Merab versus Sean O'Malley. Yep, Merab did what he does best, man.
They are who we thought they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guillotine choke, got him.
Yeah, Sean, he looked good. He looked like he was using that like teep kick to the body that he hurt Merab in the first one with. And then was defending the first few takedowns, but Merab, they don't call him the machine for nothing. He keeps coming and overwhelms you. And Sean O'Malley's just not that good with wrestling. He can't. I mean, he defended well at the beginning, but when you have someone shooting 20 takedowns on you in a matter of 2 rounds,
12,
still, it's a lot. Yeah, it is inevitable. I'm eager to see what he does. What was your hot take you told me, Zach, earlier this week for Sean? What's his next steps?
Oh, that he's gonna bump up.
Yeah. So
I feel like he's gonna bump up. I feel like he's gonna be like, nope, I'm done with this. I'm gonna bump up to another weight class.
Bump up, fight like 5 unranked guys in that weight class, and then get a #1 contender shot, something like that.
Probably.
No, this one, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I do think when we talked about it coming in, we talked about like was this a deserved rematch after a 1 defense title reign? But also, I think now having watched the fight, getting thrown right back in there was probably to Sean's detriment too. I think he would have benefited from having another fight or 2 before this, because he could have worked on a few things and been able to continue to improve his game and maybe been a little more ready for Merab. I think that was part of his downfall too, was that was just the very next fight. He didn't really have a lot of opportunity to improve upon anything. He fought a better version of the same fight, but it was pretty much the same fight. And maybe if he'd had a couple more opportunities, he could have added some wrinkles. It might have given him a better shot.
Yeah. So this division it's kind of like, what do you do next? Because Merab has really cleaned out so many along the way to his title run. And he's beat Sean, he beat Umar, he's beat Jan. I think the next logical fight would be Corey Sandhagen. And I don't think that he's going to get that done.
I think it looks the same way of what he just did to Sean. And probably
yeah. So where does this division go?
The boy's on a 13-fight win streak too.
Where does it stay? Yeah, and then for Sean, who was help me real quick. Who did Volk? Who was it? Was it Chandler that had the 3? Who had 3? I'm trying to think of somebody who has is there going to be any opportunity for O'Malley to as long as Merab is the champ? Is he going to get a 3rd fight without it having gone 1-1? I feel like that's a very rare occurrence. I can only halfway think of the one time that I think it might have happened, but I can't. And even then, that would require him to beat several people, I think, in that top 10 in a row to get something like that. I just don't know if that's going to be his journey.
I think he's in a situation like Holloway was with Volkanovski. So he lost twice, and then he had to just fight, and just prove
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Prove he's the number one contender, go in to get a third shot. But I don't see O'Malley beating him unless.
I think as long as Merab, I don't see anyone beating Merab right now. Honestly, I think that dude's too good. And then O'Malley, I get him moving up to 45. But there is I still like to see him and Corey Sandhagen fight. I think that would be fun. I want to see him have a rematch with Peter Yan because that fight was pretty controversial with him and Yan.
Yeah, it was.
But if he goes up to 45, there's fun fights like him and Yair Rodriguez would be pretty fun. Just a bunch of long, tall kickboxers would be a fun fight. But I don't battle back at all if Merab's the champ right now.
So, do you believe Merab, GOAT of the bantamweight division all time? 13-fight win streak has pretty much cleared the whole division out.
I do. I don't know who you can in this. I don't know who you're going to argue. Some people would say Dominic Cruz. Merab and Dominic Cruz, and I think Merab's.
I don't think anyone has his resume. He basically cleared out the division before even getting his title shot.
His run's crazy.
It is insane.
So wrestling. Do you think he's going to jump up then? Do you think he'll jump up and try to go for another belt?
I think so. I mean, it'd be in his best interest if he could move up to try to become a double champ. And
how do you think that looks? Him versus Volk, though. That's an interesting fight.
That's a very interesting fight. I think Volk has him standing up for sure. If Volk keeps his speed and timing, it depends on how long it takes to get to that fight, though.
Because Volk's getting old. He's starting to get a little older.
That's him.
But if it happens within the next year,
that's a fun.
That's a fun fight.
I'd like to see that. Yes. I would.
That's all I got on 316.
So we'll go to everyone's favorite segment here. Everyone's. The Wrestling Minute. And before we get into the Wrestling Minute, though, hold on, Kevin. Before we get into it, I got to share with you guys about this weird, crazy dream I had last night. All right. I was forced to wrestle John Cena.
Oh,
all right. I don't know why. I haven't been watching wrestling, so I don't know why I was wrestling John Cena of all people. And we were on top of a ladder, and he just took us both, grabbed us both, and took us right off the ladder. That's one of the last things I remember. And then later on in that dream, I had to edit the whole entire thing.
That's my favorite part, is that you still had to work afterwards.
I had to edit it.
I think that it's been a while since I've had a work nightmare, but that was my favorite detail because he didn't start by telling me that. He was just like, dude, I had the weirdest dream. I fought John Cena. And I was like, that is pretty weird. He's like, yeah. And then I had to edit the whole thing too. I was like, bro, lead with that. That is also hilarious. Oh man. Well, John Cena, you're not the only one who's going to be seeing him in your nightmares, because John Cena, in one of maybe the most epic trolls of all time. I think we talk about GOATs, and you can debate when we can have that debate probably another day. It would take another hour whether or not John Cena is the GOAT of pro wrestling, but he's right up there. And one of the areas where I will say he might be just unapproachable is his ability to cut promos while using real world stuff and to work it into the kayfabe. So heel John Cena got challenged by CM Punk on Monday, fellas, UFC legend, in his own right, CM Punk. I almost mentioned him when you were talking about worst debuts. I was like, I got a contender for you, Wade, but let's help that. CM Punk challenged John Cena. John Cena accepted, but said that CM Punk's going to have to chase him to Saudi Arabia, and said, the ball's in your court, hero, which was a wonderful little jab. John Cena using old tweets to move a storyline along. For those of you who don't know, a long time ago when CM Punk still hated the WWE, he quote tweeted Mike the Miz and said something about, and forgive me, this is a quote, and it's also got some naughty language in it. He essentially said, why don't you go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi? So now, not one to shy away from being called a hypocrite. Now CM Punk is going to go main event a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. So what do you guys think about that? Is John Cena no longer the heel in this program? What just happened?
Man, that's wild. That was a wild statement there.
Dude, it's great. Like, John does this stuff. Like, no one else would have called The Rock out for writing his promo on his forearm. John Cena is the only man alive who would do that in front of a live audience. And he then does this where he's like, oh yeah, you want to fight me so bad? You're going to have to come to Saudi Arabia. I'm just like, dude, how you're working this into a storyline? Like, people are going to be throwing stuff at him when he gets there. He's going to be the bad guy now.
Yeah. Is this his turn back?
A heel versus heel program? Maybe. I think it's going to be one of those weird moments. This happens every once in a while. It's like WWE Bizarro World, like when Bret Hart was really popular as a bad guy and they'd go do an event in Canada and the crowd would not give a shit about what they've been told. They're like, we want him to win. Screw you guys. We will root for the bad guy. So I wonder if this is going to be one of those scenarios. You're running into that already with John Cena just being on his farewell tour. It's one of those, like, everyone boos him with a smile on their face. Like, you suck, man. We love you. We miss you, dick. It's kind of one of those things. So I at least they're keeping it interesting. But yeah, that's the big news. Connor, I know you're more up to date on this than my illustrious co-host. What are your thoughts on the big pay-per-view announcement?
I like that. I mean, I love CM Punk's one of my favorites growing up. I mean, I feel like a kid again watching Cena and Punk. So I'm excited to see that. And I don't know. I'm curious to see where they keep this Cena stuff going, because obviously the R-Truth stuff is still going on with him coming back and everything. So they're going to tie Truth back in. So I don't know if he would lose it to Punk right now, because I'm assuming they want to put the belt on Punk at some point, but I don't know if now would be the time with all this heat around Cena with the R-Truth situation. So I think it's really up in the air, and those are my favorite matches, ones where you don't know who's going to win. Those are the best ones. So I'll definitely have to tune in and watch that one and see. And I hope R-Truth gets involved again, because I'm loving what they're doing with him right now. I'm loving that stuff. So.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun, and I think you're right. Those are especially in the modern era, where there are people who get paid to leak this stuff on Twitter an hour before it goes live, and you're like, dude, I just got to mute these people, right? Like, just let me keep kayfabe personally, at least, So you got to stay off Twitter. You got to avoid all this stuff to avoid the spoilers. But yeah, I think my guess is that their current plans are still to have Cody take it back from John. I love that they've turned the whole summer of Punk in reverse, and now it's John Cena threatening to take the belt and go home with it on his way out. Just like I think it was the 2011 storyline where Punk was doing that. So I love that, and the fact that those two have the ability. There is no better promo fight to watch. Like, if you at home are interested in being a wrestler, you want to be a good talker, go watch these two in their promo build up to this, because they're two of the best to do it. They reference stuff from 20 years ago that they know the marks like me will pop for, but it still works if you're just there and it's your first time. So it's some really high level stuff that those guys managed to do. What I'm hoping they'll wind up doing is have Seth Rollins use his Money in the Bank to win a title, and then Punk will inevitably be the one to beat him. I think that is probably where, because I agree, Conor's right. They're going to put a belt on him. They're not going to bring him back after all these years and not have him go out with one last title run. But this one will be interesting. Just like with R-Truth coming back as Ron Killings, the WWE doesn't always get it right. In fact, a lot of times they get it very wrong. But this new regime has been a lot better at hearing the fan feedback and knowing when it's time to pivot, because they have a moneymaker right here. So they've turned R-Truth from this comedy bit player that everybody loved but nobody took as a serious threat, them not being able to come to terms with him and the internet being uproaring about it, has him show back up and interfere in a main event match. And now he's coming back as Ron Killings. He cuts his own hair live, and now he's serious again. So it'll be interesting to see how they have to pivot from a Saudi show where I just can't imagine people will be cheering for the babyface now that John Cena has exposed his thoughts on the host of the event. It's wild. It's crazy.
Love it, love it, love it.
That is about it, guys, for me from the Wrestling Minute. A bunch of other stuff we could talk about, but then it would become a wrestling hour. I don't have the rights for that yet.
Awesome. Well, Connor, we appreciate you coming on and staying through the whole thing. Got any shout outs, and where can they find you?
I've always shout out to all my teammates and coaches here at Smileback, where I'm at right now. That's where I spend like all day, every day is here with these guys. So shout out to them, and shout out to you guys for having me on here. Doing more than just an interview, let me talk about the UFC and pro wrestling and stuff. Like Kev said, I could this, for another hour. I could keep going. I love talking. I love talking about stuff that I'm interested in. So this stuff's fun. But also shout out to all my sponsors for my fights all the time: the Redneck Party Bus, the Gentleman's Chair, and then Endless Ink Tattooing. And if you guys want to follow me on anything, follow me on Instagram at I.am_Connor Smith. So I post all updates about anything with my fights. So there should be news on there soon, hopefully, about a big title fight coming up. Everything goes well. So follow me on there and keep up to date with everything. And again, thank you guys for having me on here. I always have fun doing this stuff. So I'll have to have me back again soon.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, one of these days we will get that hour of wrestling talk in, Connor. We just might have to send these two home for that one.
All right, Kev, where they can find you?
All right. Well, you can find me right now. If you only look for me one place, to be honest, it would be right here at Carnage Media. Go over to the playlist tab, find Benchmark Pro Wrestling, and watch the future of pro wrestling with the play-by-play commentary from yours truly. So maybe, Connor, you and I can talk. Maybe one of these days I can have a special guest color commentator on one of those future programs. But a really great back and forth going on between Brandon Day, Gideon Hayes. There's been multiple matches. We have a lot of events and the individual fights. So go check that out. Let us know your thoughts as that continues to grow. But outside of that, Bite Size Sports is the place to be once the Pacers championship run is over. I'll be honest, right now, I'm kind of in fan mode when it comes to the NBA. I'll get back to work in another 25 years when my team makes a run like this again.
Fair. Zach?
Well, I'll say this: I was a little disappointed my Timberwolves didn't make it there. They kind of got snuffed out right before they got snuffed out, But hey, they haven't been that good since KG was there. That's been how long ago? Anywho, you can catch us here on Carnage Unleashed on Carnage Media on YouTube. You want to catch up on all of our upcoming fights that we are doing pay-per-view for, you get that at carnagemediappv.com. And don't forget to check out this weekend, Ego Fight Series 4. It's at Hobart Arena in Troy, Ohio. So go check that out. Doors open at 5 on June 14th. So make sure to go check out all those great fights. If you're just catching us now, go back, preview it with Connor and all of us here and what's coming up. So wait.
Awesome. Yep. Again, you can find me in the same spot, Carnage Media, ppv.com. Ego is June 14th. 2 weeks later, you got us. See, Carnage Fight Series. Oh, yeah. So stay tuned for more news about that. And thank you guys for tuning in.
Catch you guys later.